Welcome back to the channel in the North Bank. Wow, what a crazy, I think, show yesterday. I think that's all can be described as we were discussing the aftermath of the City game. Obviously, tonight we have a big Carabao Cup clash to look forward to. Arsenal heading up to Vale Park to face League One side Port Vale. I'm going to be heading up there myself very soon. A real David and Goliath tie, cup tie, under the lights. Plenty of history attached to the fixture. I like to go through the background of the fixture, the current form of both teams. Likely lineup. I'm going to go Arsenal. I obviously don't know a huge amount, barring Andy Cole's son playing for them, and some talking points tactically. And hopefully we'll have a little score prediction at the end. Got to be short and sharp, but yeah, let's get into it. So, yeah, we don't meet very often. Arsenal Port Vale. It's been a long time. 1998 was when we faced each other in a competitive match. That last clash was in the FA Cup, where we drew at Highbury, and then went back to Vale Park, and we ended up having, I think, what would be a class as a very nervy kind of game. Port Vale dug in really well, caused some real problems for us. A team with Bergkamp, Overmars, all the old school. Obviously, so close to potentially scuppering that 1998 double. It was 0-0 at full time in the replay. We scored with a subline goal from Bergkamp, just curling the ball into the net. Then they equalised, and then it went to penalties, and we won 4-3 on penalties. So, yeah, Arsene Wenger's first real taste at the English FA Cup. But it does show you what a tough nut this challenge could be. Obviously it's a different era. However, if the lower team rises to the occasion, which does happen with knockout cup football, it will be a tricky game. But it's how we tackle it and how we deal with it that will be more key to the battle itself. So, yeah, we've got a good record against them, winning the majority of the meetings, but Port Vale do actually have a couple of wins over us, tucked away in the history books. Have to go back a fair way back into the early 1900s. So head-to-head is limited. So, yeah, it does carry a classic kind of cup story feel. The underdog with that kind of point to prove against, again, one of the massive teams in English football. Look, we've spoke about it about the squad depth of Arsenal. Is it capable? It is now this season. There has to be no excuses about squad rotation and resting players and not going far in competitions. I think that's clear and obvious on that side. So I expect a very good squad going out there and being selected. As I say, shuffle the dice and come away into the next round. So, just looking at Port Vale's current form at the start of this season, they haven't started particularly great in League One. no wins in the opening run. However, yeah, they were hovering around the relegation spots, but they have picked up. They've put a couple of wins back to back. Sorry, and yeah, they were struggling. I think at home, I think they've not won a game until last weekend, when they won. I can't remember the team. They had a man sent off, the other team. But look, they've gone away. They've had a couple of good results away from home, and they've knocked out Blackpool. They've knocked out Birmingham in the earliest stages of the Carabao Cup, both away, 1-0. So it is going to be an interesting game, I think. Yeah, obviously the big story, Devante Cole up front. He's the son of the famous Andy Cole, once of the youth set up at Arsenal, who's come in and hit goal running. In all honesty, from their side, quite amazed by his age. He's over 30 now, but yeah, certainly not lived up to his father's goal scoring attributes, I would say. I think certainly could have done better. I think in the whole career on that side. But as I say, great to see a son coming through and yeah, being involved in football. Only what we all dream of, I suppose, in life. But yeah. Look, they're going to have a good battle on the hands, and I imagine the midfield is going to be working at a rate of knots. That is going to make it hard for Arsenal, and yeah, I think there might be more about them than some people might expect. But again, we know what it's going to be like for a smaller team coming up against Arsenal. They'll come into it believing they can frustrate us, and then with a packed Vale Park as well, I think it's a sellout as well. The crowd will be right behind them. But say under the lights, are only going to add to the occasion. So it's about how Arsenal deal with that and making sure that we don't falter. And when we get those chances, we take the chances. I remember that game in '98, and as I said, yeah, we created lots of chances, just didn't take it. God, I think the keeper was Musselwhite, I think his name. I remember him making about 3-4 saves, Burkamp and Ian Wright. Yeah, Overmars hitting a post. I think I remember it just trickling across the whole flipping the goal line. And yeah, it was a very cagey moment. And yeah, look, Vale had their chances as well in that game. So yeah, what's built to be a very good iconic cup game. Yeah, a proper English cup game. And yeah, I'm going to look forward to it later. As for Arsenal, yeah, we've had a strong start to the Premier League. Yeah, obviously it's controversial on that side. Yeah, there's a few differences on opinions with how we've started, but look, we had a tough start. We knew we had a tough start, and to be in the situation that we've been in, and yeah, we come away with a loss, a narrow loss, and a draw. That again. Yeah, we could easily have got a win, but it is football, small margins. So yeah, we're sitting near the top of the table. Some big results under the belt. Look, Sunday's game, it was a big draw in total when you look at the grand scheme of things. And look, lost the game, and that's a different thing entirely. We've managed to gain a point from a losing position, so yeah, we have to hold on to that, and we move on. Obviously, the Leeds win as well was really dominant, and it shows that there is quality there. And I think we can put teams to the sword, and we obviously got to continue that. We've got to push through the next few weeks now and show that determination against those teams that we have kind of struggled against previously. So, yeah, also got the Champions League campaign going, and obviously a solid win at Bilbao or in Bilbao. So, yeah, get through this, then have the tough trip to Newcastle, and then we have Olympiacos midweek as the Champions League resumes again. Downside, again, look, we're still having injuries with Ødegaard, Havertz, Jesus, all missing. I think they'll be. It'll be interesting to see if Ødegaard potentially is around for the weekend. We'll have to be very, very careful with him, because I say Arsenal know more about the injury and stuff, but shoulders are not the nicest thing to kind of injure and have something kind of lingering around. Add to that, Noni Madueke and Piero Hincapié picked up injuries as well over the weekend and the latter part of last week. So Arteta's got to rotate. Options, obviously, a little less than what he would probably like, but it means there's opportunities for those youngsters coming in on the peripheral. And you look at Nwaneri, you look at Lewis-Skelly, and Max Dowman definitely could be involved, or certainly should be involved. That would make him Arsenal's youngest ever player, I believe, in the Carabao Cup, I think. But he's already breaking records anyway for what he's achieved on that side. So, yeah, while we'll be favourites, it will be a much changed side, I imagine. Look, I still expect to see the likes of Trossard, Martinelli, maybe even Saka in there just to kind of steady things up. But a lot of those kind of players that have not played, and the youngsters will get their chance. So, yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good to see them do it. I think Saliba probably will play just to get another few minutes under the belt. What you'll probably find is that Gabriel and Saliba will probably play 45 minutes each just to keep them going. And that'll be alongside. I don't think there was big talk about Mosquera, wasn't there, about not playing at the weekend, and I think Mosquera will come in. He deserves game time just on that side because he hasn't put a foot wrong, so he'll be playing, and I think it will be a case of Gabriel and Saliba will have 45 minutes each. Maybe he gives Gabriel the night off. I don't know, but Saliba probably give him a little another game to kind of bed into again after the ankle injury, and away you go. So it'll be interesting to see how he lines up. But it appears like Port Vale kind of go with 3-5-2. Lots of bodies behind the ball, and have the width when they go forward. But as I say, I think they'll be looking to really keep things tight and frustrate Arsenal, and then on the counter attack. Can they get at Arsenal? Can they get the ball through to Cole? And their wing backs will have a massive job. I mean, not only to get up to the around our goal, but they've also got to deal with the other side of coming back with either say a Saka or Martinelli or a Dowman. Yeah, it's going to be real. It's going to be real hard for them to kind of gauge and deal with the danger and work out where it is really going to come from, because as you say, we know Arsenal have got a lot of strength, and there are dangers everywhere. No, I don't think there's going to be any change in our shape. It is as it is. Who in the midfield? I think Nwaneri's going to play. I look for Ødegaard. I think he'll play. And then you'll probably find, I think, again, a Merino or, Declan Rice, maybe just, again, 45 minutes, swap in and keep it going. I think there's just going to be lots of just ticking over. I think, and this is what it's saying. You play 45 minutes, keep every kind of player hungry and moving around loose, and then you go again to the next game. I think the one definite is Kepa coming in, so he'll be making his competitive debut for the Gunners. So I'm sure he'll be fine once he comes in. I think he'll show what a good goalkeeper he is. Don't think there'll be any problems letting us not worry about who plays in goal. If they'll press high, there is the chance it could be a little bit nervy, but he's good with playing out from the back as well. So I don't envisage too many problems there. I would imagine Vale to press kind of high early on. Yeah, they're going to be running on the excitement of the crowd. But I think as the game goes on, I think they'll settle a little bit, and I'm just not sure they'll be able to deal with it all the time. Could be wrong, but as I said, it's a risky thing to do, really pressing high. But it is what it is. I'm not really going to kind of go into the lineups for Port Vale. I don't know enough. Excuse me, don't know enough about them to be able to say. But I do see obviously Kepa in goal for Arsenal. I'm looking at Ben White coming back in if he is deemed fit enough, and if he travels. I haven't seen if who's travelled or not as yet. And they will be alongside Gabriel or Saliba, alongside Mosquera and Lewis-Skelly. My midfield three, I think, will be Nwaneri, Ødegaard, and Merino. That again potentially could be Rice. It could be Zubimendi. Again, I think whoever you pick, it will be all down to who has had the least reaction to Sunday. If everyone's kind of feeling good, fitness wise, then there's your squad depth. You've got the ability to kind of rotate around, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see who is available. The front line again. I think Martinelli will start. I'll look at Dowman, and then you've got Trossard, and even possibly Saka at some point. So there's lots of depth there on that side. So it's all about who he feels can just or needs that kind of little boost. I think it might be nice for Saka to get another little bit of football, but again, just be wary that we've got that big game. on Sunday. But in all honesty, every game is a big game now. With such a reaction over every performance in the Premier League, you look at it and you just think, well, he's damned if he does with the rotation side of things, because again, you don't get the result or a good result here because you're rotating, then you get vilified. If you get the result here and you play a stronger team, there's no brain anyway. You expect it to win, but then you might also then have potentially an injury as well. So it's all madness at the moment. I want to let the season settle down, and then I'll reserve judgment until latter time. So how's it going to go? Obviously, when this goes live, drop your predictions in the live chat. Obviously we're huge favourites. Odds on with the bookies, and even with that rotation, I think the quality gap will be massive. Yeah, there will be an evening, just regards to the ground we're playing at and the atmosphere. So, yeah, they're going to want to keep it tight. They're going to keep it goalless for as long as possible and hope for something on the break or from a set piece or something they can cause a bit of chaos. But I can't see Arsenal slipping up. Yeah, I think whoever comes in now, and this is what I said about, I think everyone in this group now is hungry to impress, and the experienced heads will then help guide through. And that said, we should have more than enough. So I'm going for a 3-0 win. But I do expect Port Vale to make it scrappy, make it tough. And I'm sure the atmosphere will be brilliant inside the stadium. But as I say, whatever happens, it's going to be one of those great Carabao Cup ties. And again, an English Cup tie that reminds us why we love knockout football, because it is great to see that there's so much jeopardy in those ties. One wrong move, it's over. One bit of brilliance, it's over. Yeah, there's lots of good things to like about knockout football. But that's the preview. Look, thanks for watching. This is In the North Bank. Please like, subscribe, leave comments on the stream. Let me know your score predictions, thoughts on the games. Your lineups. Make sure you fill us in. Let us know, and please subscribe for more content. And you'll know. Hit the like and get supporting the stream, the channel. Lots of good contributions coming in, and you won't miss a trick if you click the like and the subscribe button. So all the best. Anyone heading to Vale Park like myself, safe travels, and thanks for watching. Come on, you Gunners. And we're on our way. So see you soon.